Hey friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothes, I list them on eBay and Poshmark, and hopefully sell them for a profit. And usually I do a ship with me video. Today is Monday, June 16th, and I forgot to count. 16? I don't know. In the teens. Items. I know I had 9 items on eBay and 2 on Depop, and I forget how many I had on Poshmark. Anyway, my gross sales amount was $490.39, and you might be thinking, wow, that's amazing. This was 6 days worth of sales. Okay, so I filmed a video and shipped everything on Monday night, and then on Tuesday morning my family and I packed up and left for New York. So we've been gone Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it is now Monday morning. So I have a really kind of interesting mix of things. I have some shoes. I have some linen. I have a sweater, believe it or not. I sold the Johnny Was top that came out of the bins, and I've got some things to say about it. And there's something in here that's a little weird that has a 100% sell-through rate, a true 100% sell-through rate. There are none listed and only solds. Amazing. But we're gonna start with these sneakers, which actually have a pretty good sell-through rate. These are Rieker, I don't know. And I have had these since 2023. I actually sold them in 2024 and couldn't find them, and it must have been before I redid my inventory system. Prior to, I have all these boxes and I have a SKU system that's numerical, and I don't reuse numbers. I just condense my boxes and keep going with numbers. But prior to that, I had a bin system. So I would put some items in bin A or bin G or whatever, and write all that in my spreadsheet that I was using at the time. I currently use Vendoo, and I put my SKU numbers in Vendoo. Well, part of the problem with the bin system was I was losing things a lot, and I'm not really sure what happened with these, but they resurfaced and I just listed them about 6 weeks ago. So these are called the Nikita, and I will say that this Rieker brand is better if you know the style name. I think Toad&Co is that way as well. There's probably more. But particularly those 2 brands, in my experience, if you know the style name, they sell faster. So the Rieker sneakers, Nikita, have an average sale price of $26.27 with a 57% sell-through rate. That's pretty high. That means 57% of all the ones that have been listed sold in the last 90 days. So I think that's pretty great. These sold for $90, and no, they did not. They sold for $20.97, and you might be thinking, Jen, that's a little low, and that's because while I was gone, I put a 30% off sale on my store. I usually have a 15% off coupon and send out 20% off offers. I took the coupon off, put my store on vacation, and added a 30% off sale to all my items. So with shipping, they paid $28.31. I paid $5 for them. I don't know where, sometime in 2023. My profit is $12.78. Not a great profit, but if I had, paid a little less for them or not sold them during a sale, similar. These also have a really great sell-through rate. So these are Crocs, and some Crocs are really good, and these are apparently a really good one. So these are called the Serena Sexy with an I. S-E-X-I. I don't know. And they have an average sale price of $35.44 with a 69% sell-through rate. That's fantastic. So these sold on Poshmark for $31. And again, you might be thinking, hey Jen, that's really low. You just said they have a 35% sell-through rate with a really high sell-through, or average sale price with a really high sell-through rate. Pause. All right, my little helper's emergency is she wants to show she made herself a milkshake. Isn't that beautiful? She's got a little caramel.
I'm dripping.
Oh boy, don't drip. Thank you. So this is a good question of the day. It's a little early for the question of the day, but we'll go with it. What's your favorite milkshake flavor? Ooh.
Mine's vanilla.
Vanilla, but you got a little caramel in there, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you drizzled in there?
Yeah, and chocolate.
Mm-hmm. So I like a chocolate peanut butter. That's my favorite. Tell me yours. I would love to hear it. Okay, so $31. I did not do a sale on Poshmark because I don't really know how to do that. I can send offers. And so yesterday, was it yesterday? No, it was Saturday. I don't work on Sundays. I usually take a full day off. But on Saturday, I went through PrimeLister, which is what I use for sharing automation and offers automation. And I send out 30% off offers on everything on Poshmark, and this sold for $31. I had them listed for $45, thinking, you know, then they would sell for around the 40. I had them listed for $45, thinking they would sell around the $35, $36 mark. But unfortunately, I did not exclude them from that 30% off offer. They took 2 weeks to sell. I paid $4 for them at my new favorite thrift store, and my profit on that is $20.80. All right, I have a bra. Bras are some of my favorite things to sell. This one is new with tags, and what's nice about new with tags is usually, not always, usually there's no damage that you have to deal with, flaws, stains. It's gonna be one of those days where I just keep getting interrupted. Hopefully no flaws. That's not always true, but usually a better percentage chance, right? The other thing is it'll tell you exactly what it is usually. So this is the Stunning Support Balconette, FCC lined black, $60. Some brands, and Soma, this is what this brand is one of them, will often have what it is, the bra, on the tag also. This says Stunning Support Balconette. So if I look up Stunning Support Balconette and filter to new, the average sale price is $24.47 with a 17% sell-through rate. So this one is a little bit of a lower sell-through rate. Actually a lot bit of a lower sell-through rate, but I enjoy selling bras and they're easy for me and easy to store, easy to ship. I've got it down. So telling you, the interruptions never end. Did you need me, or are you just coming out to hang with me?
Just coming out to hang with you.
Love it. All right, I had this listed at $30, thinking again it would sell probably around $24, and because of my 30% off offer, it sold for $20.97. So with shipping, they paid $26.54. So this sold on eBay. It took 2 weeks to sell. I did pay $3 for it at my favorite thrift store. No, Goodwill is not my favorite thrift store.
Bins?
I do like the bins, but no, it's not my favorite. So I don't say which one is my favorite.
Why? Not hurt someone's feelings if
I don't want to hurt the other thrift store's feelings because they're not my favorite. Is that what you mean?
No, like the other people, if they have a favorite and it's not the favorite you have.
Oh, well, no, I think everybody's favorites. What do I say all the time? If we're all the same, it'd be really boring, right? Okay, I said they're easy to ship. I use these upside down 8x6x4 boxes that I get on eBay with my eBay shipping supply coupon. that I get for having a store, and that's a quarterly thing. The quarter is almost over, so make sure if you have one of those, go use it. After fees, shipping, and my cost of goods, my profit is $13.99, which is great for a bra. So I did have promotional fees on this. I do promote items on eBay. I usually pick somewhere between 2 and 5%. I think right now I'm at 3. I forget, I change it up occasionally. So I did get charged an extra 99 cents in fees. So there you go. Did I tell you it was $3 and took 2 weeks to sell? All right. This took a very long time to sell. It's so cute though. Like super cute. Look at this dress. Nice, like midi, maybe maxi length if you're not as tall as me. Little kind of cross front. It's 100% linen and it's made in Italy. The brand I didn't really recognize, but I'm just gonna spell it to you. Lungo, L''ARNO. I would say Lungo Lardo. But certainly that's not what it is. I'm sure it's some beautiful Italian word. Anyway, I just thought the print on it was beautiful, and with it being 100% linen and made in Italy, I thought this was a good buy. However, I've had this for 14 months. When I searched that specific brand and linen dress, the average sale price is $20.49 with an 18% sell-through rate. I had this priced fairly high, I think $30. And honestly, I may have had it even priced higher when I first listed it 14 months ago. But it ended up selling for $24 on Poshmark. So that was the 20% off offer that I sell off of 30. I did spend $5 on this, and I was in a store. I honestly don't remember buying it. I kind of do. I think I was with my mom and my sister on a thrift trip. I was in a store about an hour away from me. I just didn't write down what the actual store was, so I'm kind of guessing. But 14 months ago, in that city would mean a thrift trip with my mom and my sister. So, all right, $14.20 is my profit, which is okay. So my goal is $15 in profit per item, and that is really like an average, right? I sometimes don't hit that. I haven't hit it yet, have I? No, I don't think so. Okay. This is one of my favorite things to sell. This is a tankini top. And this one is just kind of black. It does have like this waist, like it kind of tucks in at the waist. And it has a built-in bra, which is always nice. And I'm trying to find the tag to show you. This is Land's End. Land's End tankini tops, I have great success with. In fact, when I was doing my labels this morning, I thought I would check and see how many of these I have actually sold. As of now, I have none currently listed, and I have sold 10 of them over the last, I think I've been using Vendu for a year and a half now. So that's how long without going back further into like my old spreadsheets, that's how many I've sold in the past year and a half, which I think is fantastic, especially considering I don't have any others listed. So the average sale price for a Land's End tankini top is $16.38. It only has a 17% sell-through rate. This one sold for $16. I've had it for 10 months. I bought it at my new favorite thrift store for $1, and my profit is $11.80. So Land's End tankini tops, in my experience, sell even faster and sometimes for more money. However, There's always a caveat, right? Always a big but. So you might think to yourself, well, what is the difference, Jen? And I'll tell you, because this is a Land's End tankini top that's sold but in a plus size. So the black one was a 12 and this one is an 18. So this one just has a really fun little, I don't know, geometric type print. Again, it has like the padded bra. Here's the Land's End. Has these little plasticky kind of see-through tags. So the average sale price for a Land's End tankini top plus size is $18.17 with a 26% sell-through rate. So all of that is still pretty low, but that changes things significantly when it's plus size. However, this did not take less time to sell. It also took 10 months and it sold for less money than the other one. So that's what I'm saying. There's always caveats, right? Unfortunately, all of this is kind of a guess and a risk. And sometimes we can take calculated guesses and calculated risks and, you know, have a little better understanding of what's happening, knowing the sell-through rate and things. But at the end of the day, it's never a guarantee. So this one sold for $14 on Poshmark. I do think that was the 30% off offers that I sent out. This one took 10 months. I found it at that same thrift store. I don't think at the same time because the price was different. So 75 cents. That thrift store sometimes will have a bag sale and also just kind of prices differently based on who is there doing the pricing, which is a little infuriating, but it's always really low. So it's a little less infuriating. Like if it was a difference between like $5 or $7, I don't know that I would want that risk or that unknown. But if it's a difference between $1 and 75 cents, most of the time I'm okay with that. So my profit on that is $10.30. All right, this is an interesting t-shirt. This is actually vintage and it has these little like map thingies on it. I don't know. It's on this CYRK sport tag. It is made in the USA. It's 100% cotton and it's single stitch. So there's just one line of stitching on the sides versus 2 lines of stitching, which would be a more modern one. I did not have good comp information on this. Now, if you are new and don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about comps and average sale price and sell-through rate, I do have a video linked in my description that tells all about it. It's a little bit old, but I think that all the information is still correct. And maybe I need to redo that actually. Let me know if you would like me to redo that. Anyway, I look everything up on eBay's Seller Hub. In the eBay Seller Hub, there's a product research tool. It's under research and then you scroll down to, I think it just says product research. So then it tells you the sell-through rate and the average sale price. So that's how I look things up. So this ended up selling for $13.47. Again, I think it was that 30% off sale with shipping. So they bought this on eBay. Their total was $19.48. It took 10 months to sell. I did pay $5 for the shirt, which is a bit much considering I don't know what I'm doing when I'm talking about vintage t-shirts. I did buy this at the Country Thrift in New York, in Campbell, New York, where I just did a thrift with me. I was just there on Thursday. And then this sold from my trip last year. So pretty crazy. It has been listed for 10 months and my profit is $6.15. Yeah, that was probably not wise. I did buy a couple more vintage t-shirts at that same thrift store this time around. I think I did. We'll see. I'm gonna do a haul in a little bit. So this is a like poncho capey thing. I actually was thinking I probably need to do a little bit more research on like what actually constitutes a cape and what constitutes a poncho and what constitutes a wrap and what are the other words that go along with this. So this is sheer and it has this really fun kind of studying on it in gold. The brand is Jessica McClintock, which I can't find the label for. Interesting. I know it's here. I think it's here. I think this brand can be very expensive, but I also think it's sold at Kohl's, but I'm not really sure for sure either way. I don't know where this label is. There it is. I found it. There it is. So this is, I mean, it's just 100% polyester. I'm not really sure. I'm just basing it off of the lady that gave it to me. So this came for free to me for free from, I have a very sweet neighbor friend who gives me things to resell, and from the very beginning, she's just very kind to me. Anyway, this came from her. I just know that she shops at Kohl's. So, but she has this very, you know, kind of boho-y style. This is very much my neighbor friend's vibe. So this sold for $13.97 plus shipping. They paid $19.49. There was not any comp information, nothing sold, nothing listed. So that's not helpful. This did take 6 months to sell. I don't know that I would have bought it to sell. I believe, see, I should have done some research, but I just didn't. I mean, this is already going to be a crazy long video. But I think, isn't Jessica McClintock who does gunny sacks? I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Yeah, this is one that I think I'm gonna start doing a little more research on like one thing per video, especially if the videos are shorter, not necessarily in longer ones like this, but this would have been a good thing to kind of do a little research on. Who is Jessica McClintock? Where is she sold? What is she worth? That would be good to know. $12.09 is my profit because I got that for free, which is just, it blows my mind. I'm very, very grateful. I actually have a box of shoes and a box of clothes sitting over there behind you, waiting to go through that. A friend of mine was like, hey, we're having a garage sale. Do you want to come look? And I couldn't. And I was like, well, what are you doing with the stuff afterwards? And they were like, oh, we're just taking it to Goodwill. And I was like, oh, you want to bring it to my house instead? And they did, which was really nice. So this is a button up. I don't know. It's Columbia and it's a 3X tall. This didn't have a great sell-through rate, but I feel like it should have sold for more than it did. This is hemp and cotton. So it's really like lightweight and good, and it's a 3X tall. And in my experience, the talls and bigs in men's clothing, just, they sell faster and maybe for a few more dollars, but this only sold for $15, which, I mean, it's Columbia. It's not gonna resell for a lot of money. Columbia is a pretty good, like, quality brand. Anyway, the average sale price is $14.26 with a 19% sell-through rate, and that is just a very basic Columbia button-up search, right? I did actually look up hemp, cotton, 3T or 3XT, and it just wasn't giving me any good results. Or they were all kind of just around the same price. It wasn't increasing anything that way, so I'm not really sure. I will tell you that I just saw a guy do a short. I feel like I'm talking very weirdly, but it's because I'm trying to do something and talk at the same time, and my brain is not liking that so much. Anyway, I just saw a guy do a short video on a Star Wars Columbia, and I was like, I'm gonna look that up. So I just searched Star Wars Columbia, and the average sale price was like $150. The sell-through rate was kind of low, like I want to say in the teens. But the Columbia Star Wars button-ups, I wrote it down, the average sale price was $44.67 with a 48% sell-through rate. All that to say, I don't really buy just very basic Columbia anymore. It has to have something extra, a larger size for one, hemp for another, or something unusual. It's been a while because I really am being more particular about what Columbia I buy to resell. But like, you know, like a maxi skirt, or what else have I sold? Like a lightweight cardigan, just, you know, not necessarily like the Columbia fleece. The outerwear, especially if it's a larger size, or like the one piece outerwear, like snowsuits, those are good. Anyway, this sold for $15 on Poshmark. It took 6 months to sell. I only paid 70 cents for it. That's another thing that's really common for me, because my cost of goods are lower. I can, you know, buy things that have a lower sell-through rate, a lower average sale price, and my profit is still gonna be okay. So I realize that that's not the case for everyone. My profit is $11.30. All right, here's the sweater. Selling sweaters in June. I always say you can sell anything anytime. So this is the brand Vince. This is a wool cashmere sweater with a raglan sleeve. That's what this is, with the diagonal here. And then it has a very small bird's eye print. So it looks like a little heart. That is bird's eye. And I learned that from someone a long time ago commenting on one of my videos, which is nice. So I really appreciate when people in the comments help me learn things. So this has an average sale price of $34.98 with a 5% sell-through rate. Did you need me? Teenagers. She stood in front of me eating and didn't say anything, so, and then walked back out. I think she just wanted to be near me. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry. $34.98 is the average sale price, 5% sell-through rate. So low. But again, it's June. Not many people are buying sweaters in June. Clearly someone is. So I'm still gonna list sweaters if I find them. Mine sold for $27.97, which would have been 30% off of 40, right? Ish. I always price at like $39.95 instead of $40. I don't know why I do that, but I do. So with shipping, they paid $34.77. I've had this for 6 weeks. I found it in the bins. The bins is the Goodwill outlet where you pay by the pound. And my average cost of goods is $2-ish. So with shipping, cost of goods, and my fees, my profit is $21.82. This is one of those, has a low sell-through rate but sold really fast. And I think even just the brand overall has a low sell-through rate. Oh, there it is. All right. This is the brand Horny Toad. I believe that's the old name of the brand. It's called Toad&Co now. And this is like an asymmetrical jersey knit dress. It has a little ruffle on it. Toad&Co, I believe, is like an not athletic wear, but like outdoorsy brand, I think. And what I've sold from them before has been like skirts, I think like a jersey cotton dress. Anyway, this is organic cotton. I'll get it. Organic cotton and tencel. So anyway, the average sale price is $18.10 with a 20% sell-through rate. and mine sold for $20 in 3 weeks. So I think this is something that, I don't know, maybe the sell-through rate's not right, which I think is possible. I think that it's not always correct sometimes. And, or maybe I use the right keywords, which probably isn't really correct. I'm learning. Okay, I spent $1.50 on this at, again, my new favorite thrift store. So I was gonna go tomorrow to my new favorite thrift store, and then I talked myself out of it. And then I did all the labels this morning for this, and I was like, man, I find good stuff there. So I think I'm gonna go. It is only open on Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings. So there's that. Let's see, I paid $1.50 for it this time, 3 weeks to sell, and my profit is $14.50. Man, if I could do that over and over and over, like every time, that's what I would do. But it doesn't always work that way. All right, my sticker stuff is getting out of control here. All right, this, I always have mixed feelings about this because I bought it for myself. I wanted it to fit me, and it did not look good. It was like just a little too tight, I think. Anyway, this is a linen cotton dress, like a midi length, kind of this dusty blue color, and the brand is Grae-Co, Grae, Cove, sorry, Grae-Cove. And the sell-through rate is terrible, but I will tell you, I have bought 2 dresses, both for myself, and maybe I didn't buy this exactly intending for myself. I did a thrift haul with it, so I could be wrong. I don't remember. Anyway, the 2 dresses I both bought thinking they were for myself, and they both sold really fast. So the sell-through rate is only 15%, but that's not been my experience with it. And that's why I say a lot, you know, sell-through rate is important. I think it's good information to have, but it's not the only information to have, right? We definitely have our own experiences, even sometimes other people's experiences, our kind of gut feeling, intuition. I think cost is always a factor we need to take into consideration. Condition is something we need to take into consideration. But this sold for $27.97. $27.98 was the average sale price with 15% sell-through rate. With shipping, they paid $35.96. I've had this for 3 weeks. I paid $1.80, again, at my new favorite thrift store. And I did pay promoted, so I paid an extra $1.34 in fees, and my profit is $20.58. This is a funny little sale. So I found this in the bins, and it's a little guy riding a Bronco, right? And it says Rodeo Quincy on it. I could not find any tags, but I wasn't particularly looking for them because I got this right before my teenage daughters were heading to Arizona. They were gonna go stay with my dad, and they were supposed to go to a rodeo. They did go to a rodeo. So I got this, I pulled it out of the bins, and I was like, that's hilarious. I wonder if one of them will like wear this. One of my daughters sometimes will wear like bandanas, and I thought that's really cute and funny. And I showed it to her, and she was like, no, I'm not wearing that. I was like, okay. So I've sold some scarves in the past, and I was like, you know what? I'll just do a quick search on it. It's probably not worth anything. Oh my word, this thing has 100% sell-through rate. 100%. There were some sold and none listed. And then now there's none listed again because mine also sold, and it sold in 2 weeks. Now, it didn't sell for a lot. The average sale price was $22.50. One had sold for $20 and one had sold for $25. I listed mine at $30, hoping I would get the $25 mark, and then with my 30% off sale, it sold for $20.97. Crazy, this little scarf. So just kind of random, and honestly, if my girls hadn't been going to that rodeo with my dad, I wouldn't have even looked at it. I do think, like, now that I feel it, like now that I think about it, I do think it's probably silk, but because there's no, I don't know, I just thought it was funny. Hey, I made some money off of it. So mine sold for $20.97. Loud car, sorry. It's too nice out to shut the garage door. And I know sometimes the noises can be bothersome. If it bothers you, I apologize. So with shipping, they paid $26.48. I said my cost of goods was $1 at the bins, but really, okay. I mean, this is wrapped up now. And with it being wrapped up, it's 1.5 ounces. So that includes the wrapping. So I definitely did not pay much for that in actuality. And so my profit is $17.01, which is great. Love 100% sell-through rate. It always makes me happy when I find one of those. It's really not often at all. There's just not many things like that. All right, here it is. The moment we've been waiting for. I don't know. I actually have some better things here in a minute, but this is the Johnny Was. So I have some things to say about it. This is the Johnny Was tunic. I showed it in my tops and dresses haul, thrift haul from the bins. It is silk. It's 100% silk tunic. Here is the Johnny Was label. I don't know the different Johnny Was labels. So this one had some staining on it. And then when I tried to treat it for the stains, I made a lot of color bleeding right through there in particular. So that was a bummer. So this is called the Tribeca, T-R-I-B-E-C-A. And I know that because I Google Lens searched it. There were none with this particular print listed, and when I went to do a search today, nothing came up when I searched Johnny Was Tribeca. So I just did Johnny Was silk tunic. And so with that search, the average sale price is $53.41 with a 30% sell-through rate. Now, and 50 was about what the other ones were selling for as well, the Tribeca, when I listed it. Because mine had damage to it, sadly, I went ahead and listed it at $50 and was kind of hoping for the best. I got a offer of $25 yesterday morning, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like I can get closer to 40. I know that it's damaged, but I just feel like I can get closer to 40 because that print wasn't listed anywhere. And then I just kind of sat on the offer. I didn't do anything. I didn't counter, I didn't decline, I didn't do anything. I just kind of sat on it because I still had time. And within that time, someone bought it. I don't know if it was the same person or a different person, but they bought it for $34.97, which would have been that 30% off of the $50. So not a huge sale, but a quick one, very quick, especially considering the damage that was done to it. That was my fault. I mean, it had a stain on it to begin with, so it would have been damaged either way, but I'm not super great at getting out stains, but I'm always willing to try, especially when it's Johnny Was that I found in the bins. So I didn't know it was stained when I found it, but that's okay. I would have bought it anyway. With shipping, they paid $40.05. I have an average cost of goods of $2. Again, no way this cost that much. And my profit is $28.24. So that's fantastic. I'm very grateful. So one thing I wanted to say, and I started to say this last week on something, but I forget what brand it was. But there are certain brands, and I feel like Johnny Was is that. I had another Johnny Was that sold really fast, but it was like a maxi dress that I found last summer. But I had another shirt and I had it for a really long time. But Eileen Fisher is that way. Like the average sale price is pretty high, but I feel like I have it for a really long time, except when it's flawed and I list it really low and then it sells really fast. Flax, the brand Flax. I feel like that has happened before as well. Although I feel like Flax sells pretty fast anyway, but the pieces that have been stained or whatever and I've listed really low, those have sold really fast, which is just, I don't know, it's an interesting phenomenon to me. Anyway, this is a really cute little swing dress. It has pockets. I think that blue one had pockets too, I forget. This is the brand ModCloth, which I haven't found or sold in a long time, but it is a 3X, which I think helped with this. This sold in 4 days, which is nuts. That's crazy. But it did sell lower again because of that 30% off sale. So the average sale price is $30.24. Sorry, 20 cents. And I think that I searched ModCloth swing dress plus size and then a 17% sell-through rate. So even with a 17% sell-through rate, yeah. Anyway, I did sell it a little lower because of the 30% off. It sold for $24.47. Again, I think I had that listed for $40, hoping I would get close to that $30 mark. And with shipping, they paid $32.31. Yeah, that's right. I, again, bought this at the bins. So an average cost of goods of $2, and that makes my profit $18.65. Amazing. So I feel like the 30% off helped. Some of these items sell faster, maybe than what they would have. But I always wonder, like, if I hadn't had the 30% off, would it have sold anyway? I don't know, with the 17% sell-through rate, that doesn't make me think it would. But that was a really cute dress. So this is something I haven't found in a while. Oh, yuck. All right, I'm gonna have to do some lint rolling, and I'm not gonna do that right now. So I'll just show you what it is and then I'll set it to the side. So these are a pair of jogger scrub pants, and they're figs. And I also have 2 tops. And one has, wait, is this the one? No. I thought one had like a spot on the back, but maybe I'm not seeing it. So this is the top. And the average sale price for, what did I do? Hold that thought. I forgot to put the label on the ModCloth dress. Oh boy. It happens sometimes. Real life, you know? All right, so the figs scrub set has an average sale price of $38.58 with a 45% sell-through rate. I hear all the time like, oh, figs are dead. I don't buy figs anymore, and I'm almost always gonna buy figs. Although I do have a top on its own that hasn't sold at all. I did buy that because it was a set in the same size. I had it listed at $48, hoping again to hit right around that $40 mark. Somebody offered me $40 on Poshmark, and so I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry. I said stuff out of order, which is why. Anyway, I bought those at a garage sale. They had the pants priced at $5 and then $2 each for the tops. So I paid a total of $9, which is a bit more than I usually would sell, but I thought I would research them and I probably would at least be able to double my money. My profit is $23, and then plus I get that $9 back as well. So those sold on Poshmark. So I will get those lint rolled and packaged up and sent out probably tomorrow. Okay. So I saw this skirt at my old favorite thrift store, and I thought that's unusual. And it is. It has like some very strange like squared seams in it, and it just reminded me kind of like a lag and look kind of style. I've been Googling aesthetics lately and just kind of looking through pictures, and I think that helps. And then I looked at, oh, that's interesting. Huh. Okay, I might do some better research here. I'll show you what I just did. This might be bad. Okay, so I saw it's made in Italy, and then I'm seeing ONZ. Okay, so I looked up ONZ and just seeing that, you know, these little marks were separating the words, the letters. But if I look at it like this, is it Ozini? I'm gonna look that up before I send this out and make sure I didn't totally screw this up. I don't know, because I did a lot of research and could not find anything. And I was surprised today I actually found like a sell-through rate, because when I was listing it, I could not find anything. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And now that I just saw that sideways, I thought, oh, maybe that's what I did wrong. OIZINI? I don't know. I'm gonna look it up before I package this up. I'm gonna go ahead and package it, but I probably, unless it's like a $400 skirt, I probably will still honor the sale. I'll keep you updated, I promise. Anyway, the average sale price for the ONZ skirt was $30.50 with a 40% sell-through rate, which is really high. But again, when I was listing it, I couldn't find anything. There was nothing listed. Google searches weren't showing anything. And I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna go for it. So I had it listed at $40, and I felt like I kind of was trying to find some other like lag and look skirt styles. And anyway, it sold for $30 plus $8 shipping on Depop. So this sold in 3 weeks, and I bought it at my old favorite thrift store for 50 cents, which is great. That's why it's my favorite thrift store. I love that place. And it's just old. It's old and new because the old one has been my favorite for longer, and the newer one is a newer one to me, although it's not super new now. Anyway, so the last time I shipped something on Depop, somebody said that I didn't seem genuine, saying I don't know what I'm doing on Depop. And I feel genuine when I say it, because I don't feel like I know what I'm doing on Depop, but I do know that I am not charging correctly for shipping. So I think what I mean when I say I don't know what I'm doing on Depop is I mean that I am not great at estimating a flat rate for shipping on Depop. And so I'm working on that as I'm listing new things. I'm trying to be a little bit better so there's not a huge overage. I don't mind having a little bit of overage in shipping. I think that's just part of it. But like today, there's like a $2.70 overage. So I would prefer it to be around more like $1 overage. So anyway, if that was you, I am sorry. I don't try to be ungenuine. Yeah, I feel very uncomfortable with Depop. I don't feel like I know what I'm doing exactly. So I am trying to be better at that flat rate shipping. And at the same time, I don't really want to put that much time and effort into it. That might sound bad, but I don't make that many sales. Depop is at most like 10% of my sales. So I just really don't want to actually put that much time into it. So that's just me being honest. Maybe that sounds terrible. I hope not. But anyway, after fees, shipping, and my cost of goods, which I said was 50 cents, it sold in 3 weeks and my profit is $30.49. So that's great. Except I need to go back and look and see. I'm gonna put this over here so I don't forget. Right after, I will pop that on. I will pop on the computer and look that up. All right, this one I'm gonna use a recycled or reused bag. And this is the other thing that's sold on Depop. And I don't know why I didn't get it out of its bag. But this is a vintage Vera Bradley bag. And I could not find the pattern name. I really try hard to find the pattern name on Vera Bradley. I know that there's Facebook groups and stuff I could join. I don't want to put that much effort into it, but a Google search didn't bring anything up. So this is made in the USA, and I'm pretty particular now about Vera Bradley and only buying made in the USA Vera, unless it's like brand new and I can find it for really cheap, which is uncommon. So this sold, let's see, Vera Bradley Vintage Purse USA is what I looked up. The average sale price is, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, $22.25. A whopping 3% sell through. So maybe I'm gonna take this time as a reminder to tell you that I don't consider myself an expert on much of anything, but I'm just sharing my experience. I'm not necessarily saying, hey, you should go buy Vera Bradley vintage bags. I'm saying I did this thing and here's what it sold for. So it did sell for $20 plus $9 shipping. Again, that was probably too much. And it took 2 months to sell. So I did find it at the bins. So again, that $2 average cost of goods. My profit is $19.27. So 6 days of sales. I still didn't count how many items that was. I should have looked. I don't know why I didn't. I'm sorry. And my profit is $306.97, which, you know, I went out of town the week prior and that was 7 days of sales and I only made a $250 profit. So this is definitely better. I definitely think that 30% off helped. However, I had a 30% off coupon the last time. If you're new to reselling, I did put my store on vacation mode, but I also did accept not offers. You can do it so that you either accept sales or not while you're on vacation on eBay. I don't think you can do that on other platforms, but on eBay you can. So I went ahead and it said that I would take sales and then put it on vacation mode. So everybody who bought something from me got a little notice saying, hey, this person is away. So expect a delay in shipping. And that, I think, has worked out pretty well for me. I'm not hitting my goal by any means, but I didn't really expect to. So I'm gonna be happy with $300 in profit while I was, you know, on a trip with my husband and my kids. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I do mostly, well, yeah, reseller content and mostly ship with me videos. And although that's been different the past couple of weeks. So anyway, I really do appreciate you. I'll see you soon.